Beneath the waves and across the vast Pacific, a new kind of navy is taking shape, one without sailors, without captains, and without fear. They call it the Ghost Fleet, America's experimental armada of robotic warships designed to fight, scout, and even strike, all without a human on board. Picture this: destroyers cruising silently with no crew, submarines lurking in the deep, guided only by artificial intelligence, and swarms of small unmanned vessels overwhelming enemy defenses. Sounds like science fiction, but it's already real. At secret testing ranges and naval exercises, the U.S. Navy has been quietly unleashing this new generation of autonomous machines, preparing for a future where wars on the ocean might be fought not by sailors but by algorithms. Why is America pouring billions into this technology? Because the stakes have never been higher. As China expands the largest navy in the world, the United States is racing to stay ahead, betting that machines, not men, could decide who controls the Pacific. This is the story of the Ghost Fleet, the rise of America's robot navy, and the shadow it casts on the future of global warfare. The Ghost Fleet isn't just a nickname, it's a vision of the U.S. Navy's future. At its core, the idea is simple: build warships that don't need sailors. No captains, no crew, no life support systems. Just machines designed to patrol, scout, and fight on their own. Instead of sending a billion-dollar destroyer with hundreds of sailors into dangerous waters, the Navy could deploy a robotic vessel, cheaper, stealthier, and completely expendable if it gets sunk. These ships can carry missiles, jam enemy radars, or simply act as forward scouts, feeding real-time data back to human commanders operating from a safe distance. The concept flips traditional naval warfare on its head. In the past, war at sea was about protecting valuable ships with irreplaceable crews. In the future, it could be about overwhelming enemies with swarms of robotic vessels, each one a piece of a much larger, smarter, and deadlier system. Think of it like chess. An aircraft carrier is the queen, powerful but too valuable to lose. The Ghost Fleet, on the other hand, is made of pawns. They're numerous, flexible, and expendable, and when moved in coordination, they can box in even the strongest opponent. This is what makes the Ghost Fleet so revolutionary. It isn't just about replacing ships, it's about rewriting the very rules of naval warfare. At the heart of the Ghost Fleet is technology that blurs the line between man and machine. These aren't remote control boats, they're autonomous warships capable of making decisions on their own. Take the Sea Hunter, a sleek 132-foot vessel built to track submarines. It can sail thousands of miles across open ocean without a crew, navigating storms, avoiding collisions, and hunting silently for enemy subs, all while transmitting live intelligence back to the fleet. Then there are the Overlord unmanned surface vessels, cargo ship-sized prototypes that can integrate directly with carrier strike groups. Outfitted with radar, sensors, and advanced communication systems, they're designed to act as robotic escorts, missile launch platforms, and even decoys to protect manned ships. Beneath the waves, the U.S. is developing unmanned submarines, stealthy machines that can lurk for months, plant mines, or deliver payloads deep in enemy waters. Above the surface, aerial drones link with these ships, creating a seamless network of eyes, ears, and weapons. What ties it all together is artificial intelligence. These vessels don't just follow pre-programmed routes. They learn, adapt, and respond. A robotic ship can detect a threat, calculate a firing solution, and warn the fleet, all in seconds, faster than any human ever could. Together, this ecosystem of air, surface, and subsurface drones forms the backbone of the Ghost Fleet, an invisible armada built to fight in ways no navy ever has before. But here's the real reason the Ghost Fleet matters. The Pacific is the battlefield of tomorrow. China has built the world's largest navy in terms of sheer numbers, over 370 warships and counting. Every year, more roll off the shipyards, from advanced destroyers to aircraft carriers designed to challenge U.S. dominance. In a straight ship-for-ship contest, the U.S. could eventually be outnumbered. That's where the Ghost Fleet comes in. By flooding the Pacific with unmanned vessels, the U.S. can stretch China's defenses thin. Instead of facing one carrier strike group, China might face dozens, hundreds of robotic warships swarming across the seas. Some act as decoys, drawing fire. Others hunt submarines, jam radars, or launch long-range missiles. For China, this creates a nightmare. How do you stop an enemy that doesn't fear death, doesn't need resupply, and can be rebuilt faster and cheaper than manned warships? And here's the kicker, because these ships are unmanned, the US can take risks it never could before. Send them straight into contested waters. Position them close to enemy shores. Push them through minefields. Every move forces China to spend more resources, reveal more positions, and burn through more weapons. The Ghost Fleet isn't just a force multiplier, it's a strategy shifter. It gives the US the ability to fight a Pacific war without putting thousands of sailors' lives on the line, while keeping the pressure on China's Navy at every turn. Of course, every revolution comes with risks, and the Ghost Fleet is no exception. First, there's the issue of control. What happens if communication links are jammed or hacked? In a war against China, cyber warfare is just as dangerous as missiles. A compromised Ghost Fleet ship could be turned against its own navy, or worse, feed false data back to commanders, blinding them in the heat of battle. Then there's the question of autonomy. How much decision-making should these vessels have? Should an AI be allowed to fire a missile without human approval? The Pentagon insists a human will always make the final call, but in a fast-moving fight, delays could mean the difference between victory and defeat. There are also strategic risks. By relying heavily on unmanned ships, the US could be betting too much on unproven technology. What if these vessels can't handle combat in the harsh conditions of the Pacific? What if they fail when needed most? And finally, there's the human factor. Sailors have always been at the heart of naval power, trained, disciplined, and adaptable. Can robots truly replace that? Or does taking the human element out of war create new dangers we can't yet see? The Ghost Fleet could be the ultimate advantage, or a trillion-dollar gamble that changes naval warfare forever. So, who really wins in a Pacific showdown? America's Ghost Fleet or China's massive navy? In sheer numbers, China dominates today. But war isn't just about how many ships you have. It's about how you use them. The Ghost Fleet allows the US to fight smarter, not bigger. Swarms of unmanned vessels can confuse, overwhelm, and outmaneuver even the largest fleet on Earth. Yet China isn't standing still. It's already experimenting with its own naval drones, AI systems, and unmanned submarines. The Pacific could become the world's first battlefield where robot fights robot, with human commanders directing from afar. One thing is certain, the Ghost Fleet changes the game. No longer does every battle hinge on risking aircraft carriers or thousands of sailors' lives. Instead, the US could project power at scale, at speed, and at lower cost, forcing China to defend against a threat it cannot easily match. But here's the real question, will these machines keep the peace by deterring China? Or will they make war more likely by lowering the cost of combat? The answer may shape not just the future of the Pacific, but the future of warfare itself. Backhand index pointing right if you want to see more deep dives into the secret technologies shaping tomorrow's wars. Hit subscribe, tap the like button, and join us as we uncover the cutting edge of global military power. The Ghost Fleet is just the beginning.